Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss another chapter, and that is called as plant kingdom. See, we have already discussed in second chapter certain things about Monera, Protista and even fungi. Though it was in very brief, but now we are going to discuss in detail about plant and animal kingdom. In this chapter about plant kingdom. Let me tell you, plant kingdom as well as animal kingdom in your particular class 11th, are given in great detail. So, now let us talk about plant kingdom. As you know, according to Whitaker's system of classification, which he gave in 1969, in case of plants, we have put algae, then bryophytes, then pteridophytes, then gymnosperms, and then comes angiosperms. These divisions are present in case of plant kingdom. Before this kingdom of classification came in the earlier kingdom, there were very lacunas. For example, in case of plant kingdom, blue-green algae was also included. Blue-green algae. It was also included in algae, and therefore it was also assumed that this is also a plant. But later on it was found that the cell wall is very different and the structure, it was prokaryotic in nature, and therefore now it has been shifted to kingdom Monera. Moreover, fungi were also present in the same plant kingdom, but as you know well that fungi do not have chlorophyll, they do not have chloroplast. So naturally they cannot prepare their own food. They are heterotrophic organism, they are not autotrophic, and therefore they have been provided a separate kingdom, and that is called as kingdom fungi. So today we are going to discuss about all those organisms which have the innate ability to prepare their own food. They may be eukaryotic or eukaryotic, they are actually eukaryotic, they may be unicellular or multicellular, but they are eukaryotic and also they can prepare their own food. So now we will be discussing about algae, but before that we have to discuss about certain other things in the classification process. See, Carolus Linnaeus, as you know, he gave a system of classification which is called as artificial system of classification. Artificial system of classification. It is considered to be artificial system of classification, and it was given by Carolus Linnaeus. The reason was that besides morphology was given much importance in that. Besides that, he gave importance to androecium, structure of androecium present in the plant, and moreover it was assumed that both morphological characters as well as sexual characters should have the same weightage, while we know today that morphological characters can be affected by environmental conditions. Now, this system of classification is today not accepted. The need was felt not only morphology but other characteristics should also be given weightage. For example, internal structures such as ultrastructure, anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry, this should also be given preference while deciding the classification. And this was done in another class of classification that is considered to be natural system of classification. Natural system of classification. In case of natural system of classification, other things were also given preference, such as ultrastructure, anatomy, phytochemistry, etc., embryology, etc. Now, this was given by Bentham and Hooker. It was accepted for a very long period of time. Now, but today we follow phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system of classification. Now here taxa, which are very closely placed to each other, they are assumed that, it is assumed that evolutionary they also are very close to each other. If two organisms belonging to the same taxa, it is assumed that evolutionary they are much closer to each other according to this method of classification. Now, many other things influence classification. For example, let us take example of, this is a kind of numerical taxonomy. Numerical taxonomy. Here number of characters are considered. Each characteristic is given a particular code or number, and then they are processed in databases. All these characters are fed in computers. Each character has got an equal weightage. So suppose if there are two different plants and they need to be compared together, all the characters which are present in these two plants will be, all the data concerning it will be fed in a computer, and the computer will decide how many characteristics are similar to each. Do the two plants have how many characteristics which are similar to each other, and on that basis it can be said whether the two plants belong to the same taxa or not. So this is now playing a big role in classification as such. Now, other than that, cytological studies are also playing a role. Cytotaxonomy, for example, it involves all the things which are present in a cell, in the cytoplasm or in the nucleus. For example, the shape, size and behavior of number and behavior of chromosomes. Now even chemotaxonomy, this is called as cytotaxonomy. Cytotaxonomy. It depends upon the cellular structure, whatever is present in the cellular constituents, whatever is present in the inside the cell, cytoplasm or the nucleus. For example, let us take an example that it depends upon the number of chromosomes, shape of chromosomes, size of chromosome, as well as behavior of chromosome during its division. So cytotaxonomy, we can also take the help of cytotaxonomy in deciding the biological classification. Then chemotaxonomy is also playing a very big role today. Chemotaxonomy is used wherever there is confusion. It is used wherever there is confusion as such. For example, the cell constituents may have a different chemicals present in them, and on the basis of that the organism can be differentiated. So these are actually helping in the process of classification. Now let us look at the general characteristics of algae. This is the first thing which we have to study in Kingdom Plantae, algae, regarding algae as such. You know that algae are present everywhere. They may be present on the terrestrial land, marine ocean, fresh water, even on the slot beer. So they are found everywhere. Now the algae may be of different shape and size. For example, they may be unicellular, केवल एक सेल के बने हो सकते हैं, एक सेल के बने हो सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कैल्बाइडोमोनास सिर्फ एक सेल का बना होता है. दे मे बी कॉलोनियल, कॉलोनीज में पाए जाने वाले एल्गी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वॉल्वॉक्स. दे मे बी filamentous, long and filamentous. For example, Eulothrix and Spirogyra. See, they are autotrophic, so naturally they can prepare their own food. They can perform photosynthesis. They have chlorophyll pigments, and they are eukaryotic organism also. They have chloroplast. Inside that they have chlorophyll pigments. It may be A, B, C, D. Xanthophylls and carotenoids are also present. So naturally they have the ability to prepare their own food. So we have discussed about where they are found, then we have discussed about their shape and size, then we have discussed that it is photosynthetic. Let us now discuss about their reproduction. They undergo three kinds of reproduction: vegetative reproduction, then asexual reproduction. They have asexual reproduction, and they may have sexual reproduction. They can also have sexual reproduction. So we see that there are three types of reproduction present in an algae. So we will be discussing one by one. First, let us discuss about vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction is mostly through fragmentation. Now, it is mostly through fragmentation. You know that filamentous algae consisting of filaments such as Spirogyra these filaments can, suppose this is a nucleus and this is a chloroplast. These filaments can actually break, can get separated, or you can say can get detached they will fall on the ground and can give rise to different algae. So it is very simple. Vegetative reproduction is actually very simple. Now let us talk about asexual reproduction. Let us talk about asexual reproduction. Now in case of asexual reproduction, we find that spores are formed, various kind of spores are formed, and these are mostly motile flagellated spores. Most commonly they are called as zoospores. So asexual reproduction takes place with the help of a spore called zoospore. They have flagella and therefore they are motile in nature. Now let us talk about sexual reproduction. Let us talk about sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in algae. Now in case of sexual reproduction in algae, there may be different kind of gametes formed. Now these gametes may be either morphologically very similar, and in that case, suppose male and female gametes are present which are very similar, they can be called as isogametes. For example, in Spirogyra. Now it can be possible that the two gametes are different in shape and size. Suppose this is a female gamete and this is a male gamete. Both are very different in shape and size. In this condition, they are called to be anisogametes. 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 Now, in certain condition, it has been found that one gamete is very big and it is static, while the other gamete is very small and it is motile. In this condition, it is called as oogamous type. This is present in algae such as fucus. So these three different type of gametes are present responsible for sexual reproduction in algae. Now let us talk about importance of algae, economical importance of algae. Let us talk about economical importance of algae. Economical importance of algae. See, let me tell you, about half of the total carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere is actually fixed by algae. So it is itself an achievement. Half of the total global carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere is actually fixed by algae. Then we have various kind of marine algae such as Porphyra, Laminaria and Sargassum. These are used as food. They are used as food by people. So people used to consume them as food. Then various kind of algae such as algin and carrageen. Algin and carrageen, brown algae and red algae, they are actually hydrocolloids, that is water absorbing substances. and they are economically utilized in the industries. Then you must have heard about agar agar. Agar. It is obtained from red algae, Gracilaria and Gelidium. Gracilaria and Gelidium. Now agar agar, it is utilized for making ice cream and jellies. Moreover, they are also utilized for making a medium for the growth of microorganisms. So that is the role of agar agar, which has been obtained from Gracilaria and Gelidium. Gracilaria and Gelidium. Then let us talk about certain algae. For example, Chlorella and Spirulina. They are single-celled algae and they are utilized by the space travelers. They are eaten up by the space travelers in form of paste. So this provide enough of protein. So naturally, these are all the importance of algae which we have discussed. I hope you like our discussion. In the next discussion, अगली बार जो हम लोग लेक्चर देंगे, in the next lecture we will be talking about various classes of algae. There are green algae, there are brown algae, and there are red algae. So we will be discussing about them in our next lecture. Thank you and have a very nice day.